We are live.
Woo.
So what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. This channel is primarily focused on over-the-counter stocks if you're visiting for the first time. But on Wednesday nights, since the first of the year, really, I've been doing podcasts with other people who trade within the stock market, other entrepreneurs. And tonight I have a special guest, and they are Cass and Bran. They have their own YouTube channel, they have their own business, and they have an incredible story that I wanted to share with all of you guys who follow me on my channel. And so, yeah, welcome, guys. Welcome, Cassie and Brandon.
Thanks for having us. We're excited.
Cool to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, this is completely different from anything that I've talked about on my channel within the stock market. And what Cassie and Brandon do is they basically started a cookie business. And I would like to say straight out of their house, but it was really out of their car. It's quite an unbelievable story, and I don't want to take all of the details away from them. So why don't I go ahead and get you guys to just kind of share your background and what it is that you do and how you guys got started.
Yep.
All right. So we graduated college about 2 years ago now.
Yep.
And
2016.
we were faced with the decision of should we get a 9-to-5 job, as everyone is faced with at some point, or should we do something completely different? Yeah. And we decided to start a cookie business, which wasn't something that just fell on our lap and was easy. It was something that ended up being very, very hard to start, but we got very lucky. It all worked out. We were living in our car. We graduated college with no money at all. And, well, we had a little bit for rent, like maybe $500 or so in our car.
I love that.
Not very much. And we decided to use that money to go to the restaurant store and buy our first batch of ingredients. To even get our start, we couldn't originally have our own storefront location. So we actually had to beg a local bagel shop owner to let us use their business in their off hours at night when they weren't open to run our business behind the scenes and deliver cookies.
Yeah. Now you may think, why not just do that out of your house, out of your home kitchen? And in the state that we're in, New Jersey, that's actually illegal. We had to find a commercial kitchen to use. So we reached out to, what was it, like 100 businesses?
Yeah, I individually called like 100. And then when I was on the brink of giving up, the last one finally said yes.
Oh, so you calling after that. But the last one finally said yes. And yeah, we started in September of 2016. So a couple months after we graduated. And went to the restaurant store with a little bit of money we had, got our first day's worth of ingredients. And in the days leading up to that, we had passed out a couple of flyers around campus just to the students walking around. So got the word out a little bit, didn't know how well it was going to go. And that very first night was just Cassie and myself. We had no employees, no idea to how to do anything. The process
it was like my first time baking cookies in my life.
The process like just completely foreign. So we were doing things completely and entirely wrong. And it was, for lack of a better word, chaos. It genuinely was. It was at one point we had about 30 orders that had come in throughout the course of the night, and again, just Cassie and myself. So Cassie, every order that came in, oh, it's 2 chocolate chip and that, let me go ahead and bake those and get those, not even thinking about the fact that they take 30 minutes to bake.
Right.
That's a very long delivery time.
Yeah.
We had about 30 orders come in, and at one point
he's the only delivery driver.
I'm the only delivery driver too, also helping her bake and fill that.
Oh my gosh.
It made me question everything. I said, are we insane? Why are you doing it? And we had a reporter who was there from a newspaper
following us,
taking photos of us, and he was trying to like get a photo of me out in a delivery. I'm like, I got 7 here, there's 9 more in queue, I gotta go. And I ran out, and he tried to like follow me to like get a photo of me doing the delivery, and I lost him at the light. He's like, yeah man, I couldn't keep up. I was like, I had to go.
Right. That is crazy.
Panic induced the whole night, but it was amazing. Honestly, it was the start of the journey. And the next day we called in some friends and family, some backup, and we made up for it. And it was just every day since, just grinding.
Yeah, you know, and I love that. I love the grind and the desire to do this. So first of all, I got so many questions. So or whatever time it was, you guys, I don't know how late you guys ended up delivering.
Till 3:30.
Till 3:30. So that's perfect. That's perfect. So like if I'm studying or partying, or something along those lines, and like I need, yeah, right. I get some kind of munchies from just, I guess, you know, studying really hard, and you know, and you know, I know that I can call you guys up and you'll be able to deliver cookies to me. Like, that is amazing. And not only that, but like, I'm sure the quality of the cookies is awesome. It sounds to me that like you guys really started to blow up at some point. It's just an amazing concept. And, you know, so I want to step back a little bit. Like, where did the idea come from? You know, first of all, cookies, where did that come from? And then second of all, like, as far as just creating a delivery service for them, almost it's kind of like if you're to order a pizza, like that is awesome. Yeah. So like, how did that come about? Where did that idea come from?
So we lived in a college house at the time of when we came up with the idea right before we graduated.
Yeah.
And everyone was basically up that late, and we always were just really hungry for some munchies late at night.
Yeah. And the options in the town were either like you said, pizza or Chinese.
Chinese wasn't even open that late. It's really just pizza. It wasn't even open that late.
Yeah, it's really just pizza. And we're like, I don't want pizza. I want like something else. And it's one of those nights you just have those talks that to kind of just go off. And the next morning you wake up and you're like, oh yeah, what was that cookie thing we thought of? And what was that? And we kind of talked about it more. And then before the bagel shop, even after we'd come up with that initial like thought, that initial concept, we did a test run out of our house at first.
For like 5 days or so.
Yeah, which is why the cookies are so big, because it was like one of our first times like baking the cookies. And
I was like, how big do you make a dough ball?
No, Cass said, like, how big do I make a dough ball? I'm like, I don't know. That looks big enough. Bake it, see what happens. And she baked it, and it came out huge. And we're like, oh crap, that's way too big.
Orders were flying in.
Then we had a couple of orders that had come in from that first night test run. And I'm like, oh shoot, didn't want them to be late. Send them out. And we sent them out, and then people messaged us back like, these cookies are amazing. They're so big. We love this. And we're like, oh, okay, big cookies.
Once the reviews started coming in that we had big cookies, we're like, well, now those reviews are there forever. Yeah. So I guess we have big cookies now.
Now we one of our taglines, one of our sayings at the shop is as big as your face, because customers always come in and like, oh, how big are the cookies? And we respond, as big as your face.
That's awesome. That's as so great. So like, and you know, so for those of you just joining, I see a couple of people trickling in. So feel free to ask questions. If you guys have had any ideas or wanted to be an entrepreneur, or, you know, just wanted to think of, even had a thought to start your own business, like think about like what Cass and Bran have gone through. Okay. So just a timeline of events. They came up with an idea of starting a business. So they wanted to get into, you know, this cookie delivery business because they thought it was a good idea. So, and it wasn't that easy, you know, as you guys said, you know, I guess there's some sort of restriction on, you know, selling. Is it just all food out of your house, or is it?
Yeah, to sell anything.
In a lot of states, yeah.
Okay, so then basically what they ended up having to do was going around begging other restaurants to borrow their kitchens, and so they eventually got one that was allowed them to do that, and so now they're living out of the car essentially, and you know, working out of some stranger's kitchen, basically, you know, which is another restaurant, which, gosh, like how nice were they to be able to do that? Like you guys would have been like,
they were
a lifesaver.
Yeah,
right.
They actually, yeah, they really let us get our foot in the door. They only charge us the difference in utilities.
That's awesome.
The cost and the electric bill and stuff, they charged us that, and that was it.
It was also a young entrepreneur, which is why he was more open to the idea.
He was in his late 20s, I think, and he kind of saw us, and he's like, all right, I see you're hungry, I see your passion, your drive, like, I'll give you a shot. And he gave us one shelf on the bottom of his fridge and about a 3 square foot area of space that we had to stack up all of our supplies, all our ingredients every single night. It was basically like Cass used to say, unpacking the closet to like set up. And at the end of the night, I had to put everything back up because they needed that space in the morning.
We had to hire tall employees. I couldn't even unpack it by myself.
Yeah. And some things couldn't even fit in there. Like we had a warmer that we used to keep the cookies warm.
Keep that in the car.
And then that wouldn't fit in that corner. So every single day I had to bring that inside and outside. And
we're sleeping with the equipment in our car at the time.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Did you guys have like a tiny car? Did you live in some?
It was a Toyota RAV4. So not too bad.
So it was pretty tiny. Yeah.
Well, bigger than like a compact, but
yeah. But it's I mean, it's a compact SUV. It's not like it's a Suburban that you're living in, you know? So man, that's incredible. That's awesome. Okay. So now, so then, okay, before I get ahead of myself, why is it that you wanted to even be an entrepreneur? What is it that you were like, okay, you know, I don't want to deal with working this 40-hour work week, or I don't want to deal with, you know, a regular day job. I want to work for myself, or we want to work for each other. And the other part of that is that if you guys are just watching, and I failed to mention this, so my apologies, but they actually have Cassie and Brandon have a YouTube channel, and the links are down in the description below if you want to check that out, on their entire journey throughout this. And so what I'm doing is basically recapping it for you guys, but feel free to follow them along. Cassie reached out to me on one of my videos. She liked the one I put out about like 3 things you need to know before you start a business. And for whatever reason, I get people that comment on my videos all the time, but for whatever reason, I clicked on it and I can't stop watching their channel. So please go check that out. And so back to my question, why is it that you wanted to start this venture, and what was the motivation behind all of that?
So, I mean, for me personally, me and Cassie are a little different with this. Cassie's different in the sense that she's known for a long time, right? That you wanted to be an entrepreneur, something that she always thought about.
Yeah, so I always hated working for other people. And in college, I would last maybe a week or 2 at any job that I tried to do.
So you got a thing with authority, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I always thought...
Yeah, I'd go there, I'd quit after a week. I'm like, that sucks. People didn't have yeah, I realize that now.
Yeah, now I realize how much it sucks. At the time, no, when I work in a job, I have so many ideas, so many thoughts, and like, you don't really have a say when you're working for someone else. You don't really have any voice. You just kind of are being the robot doing whatever they tell you to do.
Yep.
And it always just bored me so quickly that I'm like, I need my mind to be doing more. I need to have more ideas. I need to be thinking. And that was kind of my motivation behind starting a business, as well as just having the independence to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do today. I am making my own to-do list of what's going to happen today. And even if it's 100 hours of work a week, I would prefer picking my own to-do list for 100 hours than doing exactly what someone else wants me to do for 40.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. Just even for me, like, I was working that normal 9-to-5 job. I worked for a financial institution, and I could not wait to get out. And so for me, I had to ask myself, do I live the rest of my 20, 30 years of my working career going to a place, or not even just a place, but just going somewhere where I just don't feel fulfilled and I don't feel like I'm, carrying out a purpose? Or do I just take this leap and share a skill with people that, I know that I can impact and change their lives? And so that is, I made that decision. I made that leap. So that's awesome.
Did you save up before making that leap? How much money were you comfortable to make?
So, I mean,
money saved up?
Yeah, I had money saved up. And, speaking of sacrifices, we talked about this just before we went on air. I cashed out my entire 401k. And, I had, a small nest egg still saved up. Plus, I day traded before I quit my job. So I actually had this YouTube channel before I quit my job for about 1.5 years. And so I had that going. So I was basically had my full-time job. And at the time, mind you, I was also going to school full-time. I was getting my bachelor's degree in business still. I went back to school and got that. And then I had this going on. And so I was like, I got to drop one of these. And I don't know why I would drop the most stable, safe thing out of the 3 things, but I did. Yeah, right. Exactly. And so, for the normal everyday person, they're like, that's crazy. Why would you do something that's that crazy and probably stupid? But for me, I had to, and, I knew that if I ended up failing, that I still could fall back on what, my education and everything else that I had going back on. I could do the regular 9-to-5 thing if I had to, but I knew it wouldn't be for long before I'd start to think about what other business ideas I would have. Yeah, I just, go ahead.
That kind of came along for me that way too. I mean, when I first went to college, I double majored in public relations and advertising. It wasn't business at all. That wasn't really something that was in my head. I came from a family that nobody really did anything like that. They all kind of just got jobs, which is fine. If that's what you want to do and that makes you happy, by all means, go for it.
Yeah.
But I didn't really been exposed to anything else. But then I met Cassie my sophomore year in college, and we decided to our junior year go and study abroad for a semester in Australia. And it was really that experience, for me at least personally, that kind of changed my whole outlook on life. At the time, being a junior in college, I didn't know what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, but I knew that it had to be something that could enable me to continue having experiences like that travel abroad experience, where I got to go and see another part of the world, another culture, another people, another landscape. And it was amazing. And then we came back to New Jersey again, back to college, and we had the idea for Cookie Munchers, and I was like, this is it. This is going to be that thing. And we're super excited to announce that we have some awesome things coming up, travel planned, that wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for Cookie Munchers.
That's awesome. And so, yeah, so I guess that kind of leads me into, or segues into the next thing, is that like, if you guys go visit their channel, they also just have like a bunch of stuff where they went off traveling. And so that's kind of the other motivator here, right? Is that,
Yep.
you know, you're using, you know, this to be able to do the things that you love to do outside of running a business, such as traveling. And so I was watching it, and it looks like it was a couple of years ago, but I came across this Red Bull competition. You want to shed some light on this one for me?
Yeah, so this was basically, it's a competition hosted by Red Bull. They do it every year. It's called Can You Make It? And the year we did it was 2016, and it was 165 teams from over 50 countries all over the world, teams of three students each, competing in a race across Europe. We had 7 days to get from Berlin to Paris using only Red Bull as a currency. They take away your phone, your money, everything you have, and they say, here's a map, get here, and hit these 6 checkpoints along the way. Good luck.
So that experience is funny you brought that up, because that is one of the main experiences I tell people that made us become such big risk takers.
Mm-hmm.
It made us realize that we had no money. We were homeless. Most nights we were on the side of the road. We were trying to find food for days on end.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
And that's kind of when we realized, you know, even if we're living in a car, even if we're in a bad situation, like, we'll be okay. Like,
right.
At the end of the day.
The universe has a way of providing somehow. So
absolutely. That's awesome. And I mean, what an inspiration, not just to the folks that are watching, but me too. Like, I love to travel. I love going all over the place. I've been to Alaska. I've been to Russia. I've been all these other places. And so like, that's kind of it for me too. My two, I guess I got three big things. I got traveling, fishing, and cigars. If I can do this and support those habits, then I'm good, you know? But you know, the other impact obviously is being able to impact our communities and other things like that. So let's kind of go back to the business a little bit then, in regards to that. So you had your business in New Jersey, but now you're getting ready to, and it's been so successful to this point because of the sacrifices that you've made, that it's starting to pay off. So you got, you know, the business in New Jersey, and now you're getting ready to open a second location in Tampa, Florida. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so our Jersey location's now being run by a general manager, which was nerve-wracking in the beginning to have grown something that entire time, ran it, and then leave it completely in the hands of someone else who you are not even close to there.
It's like a baby.
Relinquishing that control, I'm sure, was probably extremely stressful.
Oh, it was. I'm pretty sure there's a vlog about me saying goodbye to her. Like, we went to Iceland for the first time. We're like, okay, we're leaving for 3 months. If nothing burns down, we'll know we're okay to start another location.
Yeah, we were confident. We got to the point where we're like, we think we're there. We think we're good. So we got it. We got it.
We're like, yeah.
We're like, because we knew that if we were just like, okay, guys, you're on your own, but we were still 5 minutes down the road, that would never work. They'd still call us. We'd of course run into help. So
and I'm sure, you would probably sneak in and see what's going on too if you were that close as well. It's like being too close to your parents. You know, like, I want to be safe enough distance to where, you know, I'm not just popping over there every other day.
So we left for a couple months, came back, and
everything was okay.
So it was sweet.
So we got back and we're like, if everything's okay when we get back, then we're going to consider expanding. We planned on expanding somewhere close to New Jersey, but that didn't really happen. We ended up finding Florida, and there's so much opportunity to eventually franchise in Florida. That's hopefully the next step with Cookie Munchers, that we decided Florida was the best spot to go. So we decided to open up now in Tampa, Florida. We moved here with whatever fit in one carload. We didn't want to
anything that didn't fit sadly got thrown away.
Donated, all the above. And we moved here. Now the second location isn't open yet, but it's supposed to be open mid-March. We had to bring this counter around stocks. We had to sell all the stocks that we had to start this location. Our first location, we had to sell some of them, and I thought that was painful because I've always loved stocks. This location, all of it.
Goodbye.
So to give perspective on it, a location does cost construction alone's over $100,000, not including any of the equipment.
Yeah, luckily for us, our first location, one of the reasons why we didn't have to do that so much, the first one was, construction was paid for by us, by the company that owned the whole building. And just we bootstrapped it really, where we didn't buy things until we had them. So the TVs we didn't have.
We didn't really know what we needed.
We didn't know what we needed. We didn't know what equipment we needed. We opened up with just poster boards as a menu, and eventually, when we had the money for it, our first couple of days of sales, we upgraded.
store was ugly when we first opened. People come in and be like, nice posters. We're like, haha.
Like, we'll get there, man. We know.
Now, are you still planning on carrying out the delivery service part of this down there as well?
Yeah, of course.
100%. Yeah, here we think it's going to be even bigger than at the first store, because here the school, so our main market is definitely the college. At our first location, the college has around 15,000 students. Here it has 50,000 students.
Oh my gosh.
So it's, triple the population. So we believe delivery is going to be way bigger here.
Oh
so.
yeah, 100%. So I'm glad to hear that you're doing that, because I think that's that's going to be huge. Just that whole part of that service is going to be huge. So you got the delivery part, and then you're also going to have like people coming in the store to buy the cookies too, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a whole sit-in area with tables, benches.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So just a couple of comments here. People are saying, I own a small business too. The struggle is real.
Yeah.
Awesome success story. Somebody was asking, Jake is asking, he's actually my business partner, Jake. Do you see value in allowing Uber Eats and aid your business, or do you want to just do this, all in-house?
So there is value in that, of course. You save on labor, you save on time and stress and everything, getting all that all set up, getting that to merge in with your systems and having an ordering system for that too. And insurance too, but you lose out on control of the entire experience from when it leaves the shop to when it gets to the customer's door. I always tell my employees when they take a delivery out, when you leave and you're on your way to that next delivery, text that customer, Cookie Munchers is on the way! ! They need to be excited about it coming. Right. And when you get there, you need to be friendly with a smile. I want the bag to be Cookie Munchers branded. I want everything about it to be Cookie Munchers.
An experience.
And I can't control that if it's Uber Eats or DoorDash or something else. So
that's a very
for
good
that
point.
reason, we've chosen to do it our way. And on top of that, on top of it just being a better experience, it's also cheaper for us in the way that, yes, we have to pay extra for insurance and everything, but they take a huge percent if you go with a service like that. And since we're so branded behind delivery, we have way more deliveries than a normal business. So for us, it's also worth having the drivers on our team.
That is such a great answer. I can't stress enough, like me and my partner, when we talk about our business and the priorities we have in the business, and everything is surrounded around creating a relationship with our customers. And so that right there goes along with, making sure that you have a relationship with it. Even if that person never buys a cookie from you ever again, you at least, planted that seed to create that relationship. And, what keeps people coming back is not necessarily, obviously, the product's got to be good, but if the product is good and everything else is crap, then they're not going to come back. And so, just creating that relationship, I think is of utmost importance when it comes to any business, no matter what it is. And I don't care if you're selling, you could be selling lumber at a lumber yard. You could be, whatever. It doesn't matter. Creating that relationship with your customers is just priority number one. That's what's going to keep them coming back. And the other thing is that when you have that relationship and you've built that so strongly with those people, that when you do make mistakes or when you do slip up, they're more willing to understand that it's just part of the process, especially with you being a small business. And I don't know. I think of so many other successful businesses that are out there, and even the big corporations. It's all about creating that relationship. Even when it comes down to like Amazon, just kind of keeping up with you on certain things and making sure that like things come up on your Amazon, suggested stuff that's actually catered to things that you're interested in. That's all that stuff.
That customer experience is so fine tuned that's why they're dominating everything. And it's funny that you mentioned the whole Uber Eats DoorDash thing, because we actually had DoorDash launch in our area at the first location, and they added us to their ordering platform
without
asking. We didn't even know.
Oh wow!
And all of a sudden, we had a 1-star review because someone was upset that their order took like an hour and a half to get to them, and they ordered through DoorDash, and the driver from DoorDash just didn't show up. And I'm like, whoa! So we reached out to DoorDash and we're like, take us down. You don't have permission to use our logo. We don't want it. You're giving us a bad name.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. I didn't even know that. Are they allowed to just do that?
No, but we didn't think so. That's why that's how we got them to take us down. We're like, you can't use our logo. You don't have permission.
Right. So, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. They just came in and just did it. And then the thing that really pissed me off was on Google. When you go to like Google and you type in Cookie Munchers, the link to order changed. They changed our link from our website to DoorDash. So they,
because anyone can go in there and change your link temporarily. So they changed the link so people had to order through them.
So people
Oh my
had to order
God.
through DoorDash if they searched for us on Google. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, no.
That's crazy. Yeah, you know what? The life of an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Everything's a process, guys. So, you know, every time you think that something, you know, everything's starting to go a certain direction, you get, you know, a curveball thrown your way, and then you just got to go through and, you know, see through that adversity. So like, obviously you guys have been through a lot of that already. And, you know, just talking about that one small experience, is there any other types of like, areas of adversity that you had to go through, you know, between, you know, getting that business started in New Jersey and this now? Was there any point in time where you're like, I don't know if we can do this? Was there something that came up that just said, you know, we're in trouble? Was there any moment like that where you just felt like you couldn't do it? And then if you...
So the one that I would say,
night I told you about,
I would say the closest one after that first night, for me at least, or at least the most discouraging, was we had what's called a toxic employee, which is one of the worst things that can happen. So we have, to put in perspective, we have almost 30 employees in our first store. So it's a lot of employees.
That is a lot, yeah.
And it's a small like cookie shop.
Yeah, for a small cookie shop, because we have delivery, everything else. We have a lot of employees. We have a lot of hours.
And the students too, so they're only part-time. So
I didn't even know what a toxic employee was until this happened. I started researching it, and I was like, oh, it was a huge curveball thrown. When we left and came back, basically it's an employee who starts slowly spreading negativity throughout your organization without people even realizing it. They'll go around and they make everyone like them, but they bond with everyone through hate about your organization and slowly put into people's heads that bad things are happening that aren't actually happening.
So we came back from our trip, and you know, everything in terms of running the shop was well, but there was some employee turmoil between.
But no one knew why it was happening.
Like,
we
everyone's
quickly
upset.
realized.
I had people come up to me, oh, get ready, you know, in this team meeting, people are gonna, you know, a lot of people have a lot of things they're really upset about, and I was like, well, tell me. What are you upset about? What's wrong?
And no one knew.
What can we fix? Nobody had an answer. Nobody.
It was just negativity that seeped in all through one person, and that's when we quickly realized that was probably one of the hardest ones that we went through in terms of, oh my God, like how managing people is really hard.
I had late nights where it was 3, 4 in the morning, and the shop was closed, and everyone was home, and the lights were off, and I was just pacing back and forth up in front of the shop, just trying to think, you know, what do I do to bring the team back together, to get that negativity out? Do I throw a party? Do I new incentive program? Everyone gets a car? I don't know. Like, what do I do? And I really was just racking my brain for a while, trying to figure that out. And that was tough.
Basically, when the company culture went down at that point, now it's back up, of course, and everything's great again. Woo-hoo. But at the time, it felt terrible because you have all these people and so much hate, and you're like, what is happening?
And the thing that made that, I'm sorry. The thing that made that the hardest for me was, you know, I'd walk in, since I know Cassie felt the same way too. We'd walk in and we could sense that negativity, and we didn't in some ways feel even welcome in our own shop, which broke my heart, because I look around and I see that table, that wall, that counter I built, I painted, I placed it, I built, you know, with my mind and with my hands, and I don't even feel welcome there. That broke my heart. That's why I struggled with that for a good while. We got people out of there who needed to get out of there, and things have gone way up since. So
that was something that definitely brought us downhill. But we learned so much from it. Honestly, in some ways, it's a blessing in disguise. We learned about how to deal with those types of employees and how to not hire those types of employees and what to look for in an interview.
And also now how to remove that employee in the most efficient and official, proper way.
I can't imagine
a lot of mistakes and a lot of lessons learned, but that's all part of the process.
Yeah, that's part of the journey, right? But like, I can't imagine feeling like you don't belong in your own business. Like that's
it was honestly, there would be days I'd be like, ooh, you know, and I didn't like that, you know, and then also I don't know if that reflected poorly on me as a boss. I didn't want to be there and take, you know, charge and fix it, which we ultimately did. But that was something that we had to overcome, that fear of knowing that you're not wanted or welcome to where you're going. Right. They don't know why, but they're angry and they're upset. And you got to do it anyway. That's part of being the boss. That's part of being a leader. You have to go in there and dig into the trenches if you need to.
Yeah, you got to hire and fire, right? So, I guess so. That was part of the solution, right? Was basically cutting out that cancer was part of the solution. So, you remove somebody from that environment that's basically creating that disruption, but you still are left with employees that now have this sentiment of like the morale's down, whatever else. So, how did you turn that around? What did you guys do?
We had to have just basically a talk with everyone. We brought everyone together. We had to just be totally open and honest about what was happening.
We laid out everything that happened with the people in question, the reasons why, details that they didn't know, because at that point we felt like we kind of had to. Otherwise, they were going to have that residual feeling behind them too. So we had to kind of get it all out there in the open. And once we did, mood lightened a lot. People started to feel more comfortable. Things aren't perfect still, Night crew still doesn't like morning crew. Morning crew still doesn't like night crew.
You'll always have that. You'll always have night shift and day shift. They always got something to say.
For the most part, significantly better. And I think that was helped by us refining our communication streamlines within the business. So there was less confusion. Things are more organized. The shop itself got cleaner and more organized. And
just overall making sure that everyone came out of that meeting comfortable and felt better about everything going on with just a positive attitude. We just had to make everyone go from having a completely negative attitude to a completely positive attitude, but kind of like learning our own little therapist thing going on, honestly.
It was,
and it had to as entrepreneurs.
Yeah, we did an employee one thing too that was cool. That was just for the employees, something we didn't have before. So we're now on our 4th or 5th official employee of the month. So I think that's been going well. It's been well received.
That's awesome. That's really great. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned being a therapist, because you don't really realize how many hats you have to wear until you start owning a business, and you're the accountant, you're the lawyer, you're the payroll
and what's
guy.
Crazy is and we're simultaneously trying to lead we're works in progress, but trying to lead by example. It's like we're gonna make mistakes, but do what we do, but not when we messed up. It's like it's tough.
Right. Well, and there's a lot of pressure in that too, right? And I think there's actually something to be said when you, as a leader of a business, because you're not just an entrepreneur, right? You're not just a business owner. You're a leader. You're making impressions on your employees and other people in your community. So I think there's something to be said when you can actually admit fault and admit that, okay, this wasn't the right way to do things, and this is how we're going to fix it. And it really kind of sounds like that you've really understood that. And that to me, honestly, is one of the biggest keys to success when it comes to starting a business, is understanding and kind of bringing your ego down a little bit and being like, I don't have all the answers, and sometimes I might get it wrong, but how I respond to that, I think, is what really kind of sets, you apart from being a success or being a failure.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of people say, oh, you should never admit fault as a leader. And I personally don't agree with that statement. I've had so many people tell me that they're like, no, you should never say you're sorry. You should never admit fault. And I'm like,
why?
Sometimes when you're wrong, it's better to admit it and have a solution ready. And
especially if the person you're telling, no, I'm right, you're wrong, knows that you're wrong, they're just going to hate you for it more. You're giving them more of a reason not to like you. Be human being with them. Have a conversation. Say, yes, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Or maybe, I don't know. Obviously, you can expect a huge CEO of a major corporation to explain himself to every single employee. Or just to some degree, yes, that is warranted, of course.
Yeah. And for me, just in my working career, and I should have known a long time ago that being an entrepreneur is what I needed to be doing. But I was kind of like Cassie. I bounced from job to job to job to job, was never happy in any of them. And then, but along the way, I've gained so many experiences from all those different types of jobs that I had, that there was a lot of, okay, I know how I don't want to run my business. And so that kind of falls into that of just it's okay to admit that you're just a human, just like everybody else. And that, especially when you're just starting out a business, and your employees obviously know that you're a small business and you're just, learning as you go kind of thing. And I think, building that relationship, we talked about building that relationship with customers, but building that relationship with your employees is right up there. I think it's 1A and 1B as far as priorities go. So it sounds like you guys really got it going on, and I'm just really, I'm excited for you. I will be following you forever. I'm really excited for you. I'm really rooting for you guys to be a success.
Awesome,
and it's just awesome. I don't know. I love these kind of stories, and I think that you guys have all the ingredients, no pun intended, to really be a success. So yeah, one fun question here. Somebody was asking, Alan was asking, which one cooks, or do you both? And who cooks? What if you both? Yeah, who basically is the cook?
Who's the baker? So
Yeah,
that's Kathy. I don't touch the cookies.
So I wasn't originally, when we first started, I was the baker the first night, and I had no idea how to bake at all. I was like, these things done? They're done. I don't know. Let's just take them out. Like,
yeah.
If you look back at our first vlog on our channel, the cookies are so ugly. They're so bad looking, honestly. I don't know what we were delivering, but they did not look like cookies.
Yeah. My mom came to help out.
But yeah, then my mom came like the next day and was like,
you need this.
She's like a huge baker. She's like, what are you doing? Like, he's like, these things are terrible.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. So,
that's hilarious.
Over time, self-taught how to bake, and now I consider myself a great baker. And now I'm definitely the main person who trains everyone on baking. Brandon still, I would say, doesn't know how to.
No, so I can
make the dough.
I can make a mean dough. I'll make the best. But if you want me to tell you when the cookies are done baking, I'm not your guy.
Yeah. So you can prep it at least.
I don't do that.
Okay.
Realistically, I could be trained on it, like anyone else, like any employee could too. But I like the tech stuff. I do the register stuff. I do the website. I do the kind of hands-on stuff. I like to, oh, this needs a shelf here. Oh, this needs to be moved that way. I'm gonna bolt that there. That's what I like building it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and they're both important roles, right? Obviously, Cassie's in charge of the actual product, and you're in charge of basically building everything around the product. So, it sounds like that works out pretty good.
Yeah, it's nice having someone to bounce ideas off of and
and we're obviously always there for if I need help, you need well, of course we always they merge a lot too, but yeah,
for sure.
I'd say I'm the idea person, he's the tech - hardware person, and I'm the baker.
Yeah, like I think it's nice to like get different perspectives when you're immersed in something basically 24/7, you kind of get a little bit tunnel vision. And when you have somebody like from the outside looking in and like, well, what about this? And so then it kind of gives you some more ideas. So there's definitely value in that for sure. So, all right. So we're here, we're in Tampa. You're getting ready to open your store. What's next for you guys?
So the store will launch mid-March. We're absolutely no idea what to expect as of right now. We're excited. We're nervous. It doesn't fully feel real at this point, because at that point we're gonna have 60 employees, which is more people than I've ever managed.
Yeah.
When have you managed 30? Oh, I guess we have.
We managed 30 now. It's max advantage. We're doubling that. So that's absolutely nerve-wracking. But we're very excited to take the leap of faith and see how it goes. Our plan is to hopefully have the store. So the first store, it took us 7 months to have it be self-sufficient, from figuring out what registers we needed, what oven we needed, everything, to the point of leaving to Iceland for 3 months and having someone else run it for us.
Yeah,
so we did that in a 7-month period.
Those first 7 months, it wasn't like we had, everything and all the equipment there. It was, oh, we got to swap this up for that piece of equipment. This is that. The whole process changed, how we go through the day.
Through customer feedback.
What system do we need to keep track of who's late and who's not late and this and that?
Right.
A lot of time, a lot of research and time went into figuring that all out.
So now this time, we're definitely still not perfect, but we have a way better idea of what we're getting into. We at least have systems in place for, what the supervisor has to do when they come in.
Register procedures.
What
2 months for me to figure out, like, what's the best way to do the register count outs. Like, and we had actually an incident a couple months ago of employee theft that was pretty bad. And it highlighted some flaws in the security measures and our register procedures that I took about another month or so to rewrite and figure out. And like, how are we going to prevent this? And
sneaky theft.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Things.
So all that stuff has been finally figured out. So this store, our very optimistic goal is to have it up and running with the general manager in about 2 to 2.5 months.
Wow.
Will that be possible? I don't know. But our plan is to be traveling again by August. Hopefully, while we are traveling, we hope to either have our franchising paperwork going and in works, and hopefully be able to start working on getting an app. We don't currently have an app.
Yeah, we're going to need like, I'm a tech guy, right? And I do the website now, but it's WordPress.
Does not build apps.
I'm entirely I didn't go to college for that. I'm just how to build a website. And I kind of figured it all out. And making that website work for 2 stores is like, okay, this can work for 2 stores. but to expand it past
To
that and have
franchising.
it really, it's going to need to be custom built from the ground up.
I
And that-
might have somebody that could help you out with that, but so hit me up afterwards.
All right,
But
yeah.
my partner Jake actually, so you know, anybody who's watching who's new, you know, we have our platforms, We Trade HQ, and that's our partnership's kind of like your guys' partnership. Like I have the product, and Jake kind of builds everything around it. So he actually built We Trade HQ, the website that we have. We're actually thinking about creating an app as well. So you know, I know people, so you know, if you ever want to reach out to me and bounce some ideas off, or you know, commandeer some skills that we might have, I'll definitely be all ears for that.
All right, cool.
That's a great thing about, you know, this kind of thing, right? You know, part of this is just networking and getting to know people, and you know, it's just great. I don't know. So where are you guys headed? What's your travel plans for August?
So our next one we want to do is India.
Oh, wow.
We're hoping to do India next, and after that we hope to do Africa. Those are the two next ones we have on the list.
Yeah, in particular in India, there's an event called the Rickshaw Run. It's a 3,000-mile race across India in a tuk-tuk.
I do know what a tuk-tuk is. It's a rickshaw. It's basically a 3-wheeled like golf cart lawnmower thing. Has like almost no horsepower. It breaks down. The last team from last year who did it, it's a 3-week race. They broke down 150 times was the max record.
Oh my God.
So that should be fun. We're going to try to do that, and it's to raise money for charity. And
we're going to hopefully make it our first thing that we're bringing travel and Cookie Munchers together, because our big thing with Cookie Munchers is dream big. That's our big tagline. Right. So we're making our first big attempt at making Cookie Munchers and dream big kind of mold into the same category. Yeah. By having Cookie Munchers hopefully sponsor that race. We want to deck out the tuk-tuk to look like our mascot Munch, who's our Cookie Munchers mascot. And we want to have a cookie and have them kind of chase each other around India, and at the same time,
like two teams, like two tuk-tuks, one dressed up like Munch and another one dressed up to look like Cookie, the crazy cookie, or the mascot. Okay.
Raise money for I think they switched it out cancer to raise money for the rainforest this year. So I think they just switched it. So raise money for the rainforest. Our goal, which is very optimistic, is to have cookie shipping up and running by the time we do that race. So actually shipping around the United States.
Oh wow, kind of like Goldbelly, or
kind of like we were hoping to ship the cookie dough so people can bake it at home.
I gotcha.
So they still have that warm, fresh.
Yeah,
cookie.
We don't want to put preservatives or anything in it. We'd rather it be the brand, and so much what we stand for is a warm, fresh, soft cookie, and then you know oh my God. And you can only get that home baked, you know, and like in an oven at home.
Sure. So we tweaked our procedure to make it work in a home oven, and our goal is to be able to ship them to the customers and make it so that anytime during the race when someone donates toward the rainforest cause, when someone orders off our website during the period that we're at the race, we will donate a % of that toward our team page for the race, saying, okay, not only are you getting awesome cookies to your house, but you're also helping the rainforest and supporting this awesome, race going on across India.
That's amazing. That's awesome. That's a great idea. I love it.
That's the hope.
The ultimate goal is in life is to make the world a better place, we feel. And if we can find a way to merge that with business and travel.
And Cookie Munchers.
That would be awesome.
You'd be literally living the American dream, guys. That's so awesome. All right. So looks like comments are drying up there, and so we'll go ahead and just kind of end it. But I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out to come on my channel and inspire others through everything that you do. Your story is amazing. I can't wait to see how you guys progress from here and what your story looks like even a year from now. I think you guys are going to be big. I think it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to be the fortunate one that got to watch it basically, not from the humble beginnings, but at least close enough to that. And so, if you guys are interested, please go check them out on their YouTube channel. They are Cass and Bran. The links are down in the description below. Do you guys have anything else that you'd like to add or plug? Feel free to
that's it. Yeah, check us out. Big things are coming up and we're excited. So we'd love to have you.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody who's watching, and thank you for support. If you're around in the Tampa area, please go visit them when their store is open. And if you're in the Jersey area, I could probably go up to the Jersey area, go ahead and visit Cookie Munchers up there to show Cass and Bran some further support. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. As always, I will see you all before the bell, and B. Smith is out. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.